Markle to ask them to attend the coronation. The representative said an immediate decision on whether the Duke and Duchess will attend the event hasn't been made public yet. Nicki Minaj is now the first female rapper to launch her own record label. The Super Freaky Girl star made the announcement during her Queen's radio show in promotion for her latest single. Minaj says she's keeping the name under wraps for now. Minaj went on to say the label won't just be for hip-hop artists, but will cater to a variety of genres. On Wall Street, stock futures are little changed as investors look ahead to comments from the Fed chair. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this fantastic Monday. Or is it really a marvelous Monday? I never know. It's kind of a combination of things as we're actually doing this. So we are hanging out still for coming to you live from Santa Fe, New Mexico. You know, I have to tell you, I'm still kind of weirded out that it's 5 o'clock in the morning here. But I guess that's just kind of the deal that I had to deal with because I'm so accustomed to the Eastern time zone. But let's not talk about that. Let's get right into it about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the shit list, because that's part of the reason why you're here. So let's start talking immediately. Ford has filed a patent for some spooky dystopian technology, a self-driving feature that engages when your buyer becomes delinquent on payments, so the car can lock the driver out and the drive itself, the drive itself to the impound. So think about that. All of a sudden, let's say, for instance, you're late on your payment or something gets messed up inside of the system. The car locks itself up and drives to the inbound. So worth noting, this patent has been filed but may not be approved, and the company might not actually, ever deploy the feature, but it's something to really get worried about. Also worth noting, the fourth quarter last year, 15% of auto finance deals included payments of over $1,000 a month. That is the highest rate ever. So think about that for a moment. 15% of people who have car payments, number one, are actually paying over $1,000 a month for their car. $1,000. Like, why would you want to pay $1,000 for a car payment? That seems a little spooky. Like, listen, I understand people say keeping up with the Joneses, but that's just kind of crazy. $1,000 for a car payment. I mean, a car payment in general is kind of a spooky idea. I remember several years ago, the average car payment was $524. And recently I was listening that it was $734. That's extremely high for something that depreciates as you drive around. I mean, just think about that as we are talking, of course.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so take a listen to this. China has a spy satellite that spies on spy satellites. Yeah. A satellite that spies on spy satellites. That's exactly what it is. Analysts of the position of the Tongjin Jinsun Yansan Wexin 3, or the TJS-3 satellite, shows that it routinely comes into contact with the Gestante American satellites, the type of spacecraft that orbits the Earth on a fixed point. No word of what kind of the TJS-3 has been collecting, what kind of info it had actually been picking up. But it has been flying within the satellites deployed within the U.S. Space Force. So some things to think about as we are talking. Also, what else are we seeing? A former New York firefighter on a flight from Dallas to Orlando put out a fire that started on the overhead compartment when a person's vape charger overheated. Rocco Ciciglia says that his wife woke up when she saw the smoke, and his instincts immediately kicked in before the crew could intervene. He used his hands to put out the fire, suffering second-degree burns in the process. By the way, the hero's flight was comped by the notorious cheap Spirit airline, and it goes to show that how bad the flight experience a flyer has to have for them to have a minimal attempt to make them whole. I mean, I know that's terrible to say, but think about that. That's crazy. All of a sudden, you have somebody who's on your airline, and they're putting out a fire with their hands. They're putting out the fire with their hands. That makes kind of a change with things as you are talking. Anyway, take a listen to this one. A lamb at a family farm in Iowa gave birth to quintuplets last weekend. 1 in a million occurrence, made even more improbable since the offspring arrived healthy. Farmer Braxton Brand says that most of it is seen in the past has been triplets. So there you go. Quintuplets are making their way inside of the sheep land. Sometimes I don't even know how some of these stories make it in here.
It's the show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
So yeah, apparently people are actually contacting me to let me know that we are not on LinkedIn. Not sure what's going on. We'll take a look into it. to figure out what is happening, but it looks like we are on all the other platforms, so I apologize about that. If LinkedIn is normally where you hang and bang with us, so I get it. Anyways, take a listen to some other things that are going on. The Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race kicked off yesterday in Alaska, just north of Anchorage. The route of Nome, Alaska typically takes about 10 days for the winner. This year, 33 mushers are in the race, the smallest field of contenders ever. On average, there's about 60. Only 2 former winners are in the race this time, so there you go. By the way, the winner takes home about $50,000, 1/10 of the total of $500,000 prize package awarded to the finalists. But training, prepping, and competing can cost up to $250,000. The organizers continue to struggle to struggle financially after PETA pressured past sponsors to withdraw their investments from the race. So yeah, when PETA's kind of against you, you kind of have some hard times in regards of doing that. Is it the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? I don't know. That's going to have to be something for you to determine. If you think this is a good thing to see, a bad thing to see, it's all kinds of things that you have to determine your own risk.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's take a look around and what was going on over the weekend in regards to the box office. So let's take it from 10 to 1 to 10. It goes something like this. And number 10 was 80 for Brady with $845,000. And number 9 was Magic Mike's Last Ride with $1.1 million. And number 8 was Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, $2.7 million. And number 7, Operation Fortune, $3.1 million. And number 6 was Avatar, The Way of the Water, $3.5 million. And number 5, Jesus Revolution, $8.6 million. And number 4, Demon Slayer. Yeah, that one was at $10.1 million. And number 3 was Cocaine Bear at $11 million. And number 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania with $12.4 million. And at the number 1 spot, Creed. Yes, the third part was making $58.6 million. In some sad news from over the weekend, let's talk about this. Tom Sizemore has died. The Saving Private Ryan star passed away on Friday, and he was removed from life support after suffering a brain aneurysm. You might remember him from Saving Private Ryan fame, and he had done several different movies. Really good actor. Just kind of sad to hear about his passing. In regards of what is going on, that's for sure. Let's see, currently 23 minutes past the top of the hour. I think it's time. But I could be wrong. Let's go ahead and bring in some John Smalls right now. Let him tell us about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the market.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, March 6th, 2023, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets rallied Friday to end the week higher after rates on the 10-year Treasury pulled back from the critical 4% level. The move should not be trusted due to the ongoing impacts of inflation and the outlook for the FOMC interest rate hikes. The latest data shows inflation is accelerating, and the Fed is on track to hike rates well above the 5% level. The risk for the market is this week's NFP data will be vital and coupled with rising wages that keep the Fed on its current path. We're approaching another round of earnings reports, although the peak of Q4 reporting is long past. The reports include many small and mid-cap names along with Oracle. Oracle is noteworthy because it marks the midpoint between peak's earnings season and the start of Q1 reporting. The company is expected to report a significant increase in year-over-year revenue and earnings that may be hard to match. You can get the inside track in your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thanks, John Smalls, for that information right there on what is going on inside of the world of the market. Let me tell you what I was able to find on my side of the equation. That way we can have a brief discussion about it. The Dow added about 387 points to close at 33,390 on Friday. The S&P added about 64 points to close at 4,045, while the NASDAQ added about 226 points to close at 11,689. West Texas Intermediate closed at $79 a barrel, while Brent crude was about $86. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.40 on Sunday. Bitcoin ticked up to nearly about half a point over the weekend, trading just over $22,400 $400. There was more than 2,280 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Sunday, and about 120 such cancellations. Tuesday night Mega Million drawing will be for a $188 million jackpot or a $95.7 million cash payout. The winning ticket on Saturday night's Powerball drawing sold in Virginia. The winner has the option of a $161 million jackpot or an $82.2 million cash payout. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $20 million jackpot or a $10.2 million cash payout. So if you want to play those kind of games, you have the opportunity to do so. Anyways, take a listen to this real quick. One person is dead and another is injured in a stampede at a concert in Rochester, New York. Let's see. This includes two that are in critical condition following a stampede at a rap concert in Rochester. It happened on Sunday night at the Main Street Armory, with one of the concert goers describing the chaos.
Everybody panicked because it was just too many people in one place, and the rush. And I just seen people falling, it was sad.
Officers responded to the venue after receiving shots fired call and discovered that the victims inside. Authorities said that overnight that there does not appear to be any evidence of an actual shooting, and that the injuries were a result of a large crowd pushing towards the exit, and they heard that the thought of that were gunshots. Memphis-born rapper Jirilla was at the show headliner, so there you go. Some things going on right there. Take a listen to this one. The FBI is asking for help identifying a suspect who has reportedly assaulted and kidnapped 4 Americans in northern Mexico. Michael Kastner reports.
The FBI's San Antonio office says a minivan with North Carolina plates drove into Matamoros on Friday and was fired on by unidentified gunmen. All 4 Americans were placed in another vehicle and driven away by the suspects. The FBI is offering up to $50,000 for the return of the victims and the arrest of the suspects. I'm Michael Kastner.
Okay, thank you, Michael Kastner, for that one. So if you do have any information, it would be great to hear what exactly is going on. Anyways, school security will get a major upgrade this morning in Northern Virginia District. Richard Sterling with more information.
School officials with Manassas City Public Schools will unveil new security lanes at Osborne High School that will detect guns, pipe bombs, and other weapons. Scanners will be at each entrance of the building, along with staff members that will conduct a search if the system detects anything suspicious. WUSA reports the school district partnered with Evolve Express, who recently installed the same system in a Maryland school district. Hopes are that students and staff will feel a bit safer while on campus. I'm Richard Stelling.
So what do you think about that, with schools having to change in regards to some of the security environments that are actually going on? Do you think it kind of makes sense in regards of doing that, or is it one of those things that you take a look at it and it makes you question a lot of things? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about some of that stuff, but then again, it's not about my feelings. It's about exactly what is going on out there in the world. Anyways, police are trying to identify and find the person or people who vandalized the entrance signs of the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley. Daniel Martindale reports.
Employees arrived Sunday morning to find Ron the Fascist spray painted on the signs. It happened ahead of a visit to the library by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in the afternoon. DeSantis had a sold-out event where he spoke and signed his new book. The graffiti was removed before he arrived. Police believe it happened sometime late Saturday night or early Sunday morning. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Thank you, Daniel Martindale, for that one. So here's my question. What's up with the timing with DeSantis' book? Do you think it was done from the standpoint that he's doing this to potentially see what he could do as potentially running for president? I'm just asking the question. I don't know. That's why I ask. Seriously.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
Anyways, authorities are investigating a woman's drowning off the course of Ventura. Daniel Martindale has more.
The 31-year-old woman from Simi Valley drowned while swimming off Pierpont Beach on Sunday afternoon. She was found unresponsive in the water and brought to shore about 40 minutes after she was reported missing. She was rushed to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. The Ventura County Sheriff's Department says the woman was swimming with a group of friends and believes the cause of death is an accidental drowning. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, for the information once again. Take a listen to this one. This one's actually coming out of Illinois. Authorities are investigating 2 inmates' death within Cook County Jail. Perry Williams has more.
Lawyers are pushing for answers for the recent incidents.
We're demanding justice be served and find out exactly what happened. 2 deaths in 1 week. 2 deaths, I repeat, 2 deaths in 1 week. and it's not fair for all the families. Again, the families are going to want answers.
Jail workers found Melvin Turner unresponsive in his bed Friday morning. Life-saving measures took place, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The day before, on Thursday, Marvell Reasonover was discovered unresponsive in his cell. Authorities ruled that he was beaten to death. I'm Perry Williams.
So how in the hell did somebody get into the dude's cell? I mean, maybe that's the question that we need to be asking in regards of understanding that one. Richmond is celebrating Black Owner Restaurant with this week. Take a listen to this by Richard Sterling.
The 7th annual Richmond Black Restaurant Experience started yesterday with Mobile Soul Sunday. About 24 food trucks stopped at Monroe Park to feed thousands of people. The event runs through the week until next Sunday. One owner tells CBS 6 she's excited to be part of it because it gets bigger and bigger every year. You can get more info at rbre365.com. I am Richard Stelling.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. Anyways, a rescue cat has been transferred to San Diego for continued care. Bree Tennis has more.
A 3-year-old cougar named Nicholas will now be taken care of by lions, tigers, and bears in East County, San Diego. The cat was hit by a car back in 2020 and was being cared for by a Northern California feline center. That center just filed for bankruptcy and offered the cat to San Diego. Lions, Tigers, and Bears is a no-kill, no-breed, no-contact animal rescue sanctuary and educational facility. They're in East County, San Diego. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you very much, Bree. Let me give you two more before we get into our main story here. The Department of Transportation is taking steps to make flying smoother for families traveling with children 13 and younger. Michael Kastner reports.
The DOT this morning rolled out an online dashboard that will allow passengers to see which airlines will seat kids with an accompanying adult with no extra cost. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said in a statement, parents traveling with young kids should be able to sit together without an airline forcing them to pay junk fees, adding that his department has been urging all airlines to make those guarantees. I'm Michael Kastner.
I mean, at this point, wouldn't you just fly Southwest? You can actually just go in there and do whatever needs to be done. And, you can relatively normally sit with with your fam if need be. I mean, just a question there. Anyways, detectives are looking for a suspect who raped a woman in the Upper West Side. Scott Pringle reports.
Police say the suspect followed the victim from the street into her building and then into an elevator. He then dragged her into a stairwell where the 21-year-old says she was sexually assaulted, and then she was forced back onto the street. This happened around 1 a.m. Saturday at a building by West 65th Street and West End Avenue. Police have released a surveillance image of the suspect. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Scott Pringle, for the information right there. Anyways, it's 32 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and do it.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So yeah, main story time. And listen, I don't know. Sometimes I sit around and think about things that happen in reality, and then things that happen in my pipe dreams, and then things that just happen overall in general, in regards of what is going on inside of this world. And let's talk about this. You know how you go around and you think about different things and you go, hey, wouldn't it be great to work with X? Wouldn't it be great to work with this person, that person, or even go into and say, hey, I want to work with these people that I worked for at this other company and have them move to this company that I'm at now, or vice versa. Or you say you want to do stuff with friends. And as much as idealistically, it always sounds like a good idea, do you think that it always works? Because, listen, I understand that it is sometimes better to go with the devil that you know than the devil you don't know. I mean, that makes sense to me. I'm never going to complain about that particular portion. But I always wonder, when you do things with quote-unquote friends that is in the business world, do you think that there is an advantage, or do you think that there is a disadvantage? And you're probably sitting there going today, well, what does this have to do with anything that we normally would talk about in regards to the world of safety? And sometimes I have looked at some of the things that go on inside of organizations and go, would this accident been reported if people that were there were not friends or friendly with each other because they worked at other organizations together? And I know it becomes a very interesting one. as we're talking about it. Because listen, at the end of the day, it's a weird thing. It's a weird feel. I always want the people that are around me that I consider friends to be successful. But I also don't want it for them to be successful at the detriment of what is going on within an organization. Does that make sense? And, sometimes people can be like, are you pro-company? Are you anti-company? And I guess that's kind of a back and forth in regards of having that discussion. But I look at it and I go, what will happen if there's a catastrophic failure and you have a friend that says, what if we just don't talk about it? It kind of puts you in a weird spot. And it becomes one of those things. Are you more comfortable by working with people that you already know that you've worked with at other organizations, or is it more difficult? And that's the stuff that always becomes interesting to me. Because I want people to be successful. And also at the same time, I look at it and I go, is there value added for this occurring? Is there value added for it not to occur if you don't actually work with people that you know? I don't know. I've always kind of been torn because I've always looked at it from the standpoint of, if I have a friend that is in the printing business, I'm going to send everybody that I know to go do the printing there because, hey, I want my friend to be successful. And I think that that's how a lot of people look at it, where I've also go, well, what if there's people that are at the other extreme? If there are friends with you, maybe you can have the consideration of maybe never doing anything with them because that right there, they are friends with you. Which category do you fall into? When you hear this conversation, do you go, it is better not to do business with people that you know? Or is it better just to not do business with people that you worked with before? I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag. There's a lot of things that go into this as you start giving some thoughts and some really deep thoughts inside of it. So have you ever been in a circumstance where you've been asked to do something that you considered unethical because of somebody that you worked with previously? If that's the case, how did you handle it? And what did you think was the best factor of the whole thing?
What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class, let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him in the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home. Wow. Awesome.
Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
If you ever wished that Facebook had a suck it button, you suck! This rock block is for you. Radio.
To clean the slate again, but I know the change. No, it don't come easy. Change. No, it don't come easy to me. Change.
Oh, you know it. The change does not come easy to me.
All I want is change.
Okay, this song right here is called Change by Ryan Pruitt. You are still listening to the Rated R Safety Show, hour number 1 of the J. Yep, and we are still coming live from Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'd like to thank Ryan Pruitt for allowing us to play this one here on the Rated R Safety Show. Songs readily available on Spotify and iTunes. Or should I say Apple Music?
For myself, I'm thankful.
Go ahead and take a little stream of it because, hey, why not? Why wouldn't you? Don't you want some change?
To be a better man. All I need.
Yep, some good stuff there for sure, no doubt about it.
But I know the change. No, it don't come easy.
Yep, the change does not come easy. Okay, so let's get back into the move and groove of stuff that we have going on as we are talking and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do around here. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. They can help you prevent suicide. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention, and crisis resources for you and loved ones, and best practices for professionals in the United States. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org. Or you can text the word TALK to 988 or call 988. Listen, we all go through struggles from time to time. I get it. And it's something that we need to talk about, able to discuss. And if you don't feel comfortable talking to someone you know, you can talk to the people here at the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. They are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to be able to help you. So before you make your next move, please give some strong consideration in regards of talking to them. So there you go. There you go. Anyways, let's get into some moves and some grooves of some things that are going on. So let's talk about this thing here. Have you heard about Bare Minimum Mondays? No, seriously, have you heard about this? Bare Minimum Mondays. I love how this sounds, but I'm not sure that it's practical. A self-employed TikTok creator has gone viral for doing what she calls Bare Minimum Mondays. Marisa Jo Mays, who posts under the name It's Marisa Jo, says that even after quitting her corporate job in favor of self-employment, that she still suffers from Sunday scaries and felt paralyzed, pressured as a result. So she gave herself permission to do her bare minimum for work on Mondays. She feels that making the decision a year ago that she feels better and it's never overwhelmed when it gets done or what she's expecting. A bare minimum Monday, she doesn't accept meetings or makes it a point that things to slow down for the first 2 hours by reading, journaling, looking after some of her chores around the house. After that, she does an hour of creative work, wrapping up the day in a few hours of work after lunch. May said that helped to start a week prioritizing yourself as a person over yourself as an employee. So why not? The boss has been paying me bare minimum for 5 days a week, so I guess that's kind of a way to look at it. And after this, she always is self-employed because who would hire someone with an attitude like that? I mean, I just give some consideration to everything that's going on there. I mean, when you take a look at that or you take a listen to this, do you look at it at a couple of different ways? Do you feel that you have people that you work with that they have bare minimum Mondays? Or do you consider yourself that you've been doing bare minimum Mondays? I don't know. I've always been a big fan of not taking meetings on Monday or doing anything on Monday. If I had the days off that I wanted, I would want Sunday, Monday off. I'd rather work Tuesday through Saturday, but that's just me. But that's a whole other story. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that story, but then again, this is not a feeling show, so who the hell cares how I feel about it, right? I mean, isn't that the way to look at it? I would imagine that would be the case.
Always replicated, but never duplicated. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so there you go. Some stuff going on right there as we are speaking. 49 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's see what is going on inside of here. Take a listen to this one. This one's coming out of California. A woman is dead after she hit by a falling tree during a hike in Cupertino, California. It happened at Rancho San Antonio County Park at about 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. Matt Anderson is the chief ranger in the area.
It's a tragedy. It's super rare. We do have cardiac events and heart attacks occasionally for people hiking on the trail system here. But trees falling, yeah, that's super, super rare.
The Boy Scouts of America says the woman was a mother of a scout. She was hiking with her son, several other scouts, and her parents at the time were there at the time of the accident. Authorities say that the soil under the tree in the area is heavily saturated after the recent winter storms, and even a slight gust of wind would actually have knocked down the tree. So that's exactly what occurred. Terrible story to hear, especially hanging out with the Boy Scouts of America as this is actually going down. Take a listen to this one. A cannabis conference will be held next Wednesday in New Jersey. Sarah Lee Kessler has more info.
It'll be at the Doubletree Hotel at Newark Airport. It's being billed as the biggest and most important marijuana business conference held yet in New Jersey. More than 40 vendors and 29 speakers will be there with everything, we're told, that you need to know about succeeding in operating a legal weed enterprise in the Garden State. The event will cover government services, the application process, and compliance. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for the information. Let's see. Isn't Oposal's based out of New Jersey? Wonder if he'll be going around there. I don't know. I'm just joking as I say that. Anyways, with that being said, currently 50 minutes past the top of the hour, let's bring some John Small inside of here and let him tell you about what the hell's going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Greg. President John Quincy Adams said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." I absolutely love that. I recently talked to a guy who's been turning down a leadership position in the company he's worked for now for over a decade. He said, "I don't want the responsibility." But they keep asking him every time there's an opening because he's already a leader there. People look up to him and they ask him for his advice. The company wants to compensate him for that and give him a title. I told him he should try it and see if he likes being a manager, but with the agreement to come back to the current spot if it doesn't work out. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by alessamorgan.com. Is your environment conducive to your wellness goals? As busy professionals, it's no secret that our work environments can be challenging when it comes to maintaining wellness goals. Spending long hours sitting at a desk, lack of healthy food options on the way from work, our environments may have a lot of habit traps that are more conducive of us to continue repeating the old instead of going with the new. The reality is that we are creatures of habit, and sometimes we make choices dictated by the environment, whether we are aware of it or not. With wellness objectives, it is crucial to not just adjust the diet and up the exercise, but also to alter your normal environments to make it easy for you to stay on track with wellness goals. So a healthy choice becomes the easiest one, not the one that requires the most willpower. For more information, check out alessamorgan.com.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, keeping it real with some gas station sushi. That is for sure, as we are talking. Anyways, let's see. Currently 53 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this fantastic, yes, this very fantastic Monday. Yeah, we are still broadcasting from Santa Fe, New Mexico. I just want you to know that. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm. If you hang out on Safety FM, you will be able to hang out with the Sheldon Primus Show. There is no doubt about that, where he talks about the business of being a safety consultant. So you can come out, hang out, and take a listen to what the hell he has going on, because it's always a good time as things are going on inside of that environment. There is no doubt about it. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are happening inside of this worldo of ours. Matter of fact, let's do this. Why don't we talk about things that happened back on this date? Because I think that that's always important to give a little brief discussion on. So if I take a look around real quick, back on this date, let's go to the year 2001. Free music sharing software Napster starts to lose its luster. in an attempt to comply with the new federal regulations protecting copyrighted music. Free song sharing became impossible. Worth remembering, well before the agility of YouTube and Spotify, people had to buy CDs in stores, rip the tracks onto a computer, then upload them and share them with other users like Napster and LimeWire. Napster rule change came at the heels of a $20 billion lawsuit from the Record Industry Association of America. But wait, no longer after this, Apple iTunes Store rose to prominence, where they would buy individual tracks for 99 cents and manually sync it to the libraries to the iPods. Because of this quaint device, couldn't even access the internet. So think about that. That happened back in 2001. If we're looking at some birthdays for today, let's talk about some of the ones that are going on. Tyler, the Creator, turns 32. Shaquille O'Neal turns 51. Connie Britton turns 56. Alan Davis, 57, and Martin Cove turned 77 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I do have some of those for you today. It's National Dress Day, National Oreo Cookie Day, National White Cheesecake Day, National Frozen Food Day, Hospitality Workers Healthcare Day, and National Dentist Day. Are you celebrating with your favorite dentist? I don't know. I'm asking this kind of a weird question because that just seemed like the thing to do as we are talking. Anyways, taking a look around, let me take a look at this real quick because I think it's going to be an important one, because why would you not want some whack facts? An average person will forget 80% of what they learned today. Not getting enough sleep and being hungry are two of the biggest reasons of being angry. Roses cut in the afternoon last longer than the ones cut in the morning. The chess term checkmate is a form of 14th century Arabic phrase shahmat, meaning the king is helpless. Technically speaking, brides don't walk down the aisle, they walk down the nave. And soybeans produce flagellants more flagellants than any other bean. So there you go. Don't eat soybeans if you have a hot date coming up. I guess that's one way to look at it. So real quick, if you need a random joke for today, if you wait long enough to make dinner, everyone will eat cereal. It's science. Think about that for a moment, because that's an interesting one. What else do I have? Take a listen to this. If you need a phone starter for this, what is the laziest thing you can find yourself doing regularly? Okay, what came to mind? Let's hear. Come on. Okay, if you need something for the water cooler, try this. Question. Recent stats show that over 10% of us keep track of this every day. What is it? How much water we drink. That is the answer. That is the answer of what people mostly track. So there you go. Some interesting stuff going on right there. Anyways, just wanted to share with you real quick before I forget. Safety Worlds Collide will be taking place May the 9th through the 10th in Phoenix, Arizona. Would love to see you there. Brent Sutton coming up from New Zealand. Sam Goodman and myself all doing that right there in the Phoenix, Arizona area. So if you do have the chance to come out, we would love to see you there. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.io. That's safetyfm.io to find out some more. Anyways, if you are in Santa Fe today, coming out to the conference, looking forward to seeing you there in regards of us hanging out, doing some things today at the Safety Differently workshop taking place here in Santa Fe today. So anyways, thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do the things that we do around here. I say that all the time and truly do mean it. Now, if I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Whoever is happy will make others happy. Think about that. It's almost infectious in regards of how that actually does work out. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
change.